There's the monkey butt. Got the big dog on the floor. Everyone's calm. Cat's in the other room. We're good to go. Aren't we? I think we are. You think we are? You think we are? I think I am. And shabam! Woohoo! Welcome everyone. It was a good day today, wasn't it? Episode 123 of Houston, We Have a Problem. We went very green, like across the board. The only thing that on my watch list that was red was CEI, and it was just like barely. I'm pretty much closed at where it opened. But like everything, blue chips, meme, you name it, all of it was like shabam. Wait, someone said 140? Oh crap, is it running again? While I was sitting here getting ready for the show. Holy crap. Holy shit. All right, yeah. Damn. Yeah, GameStop just went to 143. Cost is up to 1140. Holy crap. Damn, son. This is like a repeat of last year. Goodness gracious. Huh. AMC's up to 20. This is sudden. When did that start? That started... Okay, it started about 30 minutes ago? Dang. All right. Well, there we go. Okay, so who else is running screaming right now? Sundial, screaming. Express is screaming. BlackBerry. Bed Bath & Beyond is. There's Costs. So a whole bunch of the meme stocks, and nothing on blue chips are doing it. So it's a bunch of meme stocks right now are absolutely just running. Oh, Tilray Brands is also. Holy shit. Huh. Well, how about that? Dang. CEI still hasn't run. So CEI is still in the red in the day. Wow. Wowee. Huh. That kind of threw me off there. So we have a whole bunch of green happening. I'm really glad that I bought that. I bought one $119 call on Friday. I was like, I got a little bit of count. Doink. Thank you. I'm glad I did that. It's gonna open at $2,000 or something tomorrow. Nice. So we saw. Charlie pointed it out that they were running the 700 code on the layer 2s, which is the market maker's signal to like raise the price. Why that's happening, I don't know. Why they're trying to run it, maybe they have a bunch of calls. They want to go in the money and make a pile of cash to get some liquidity, and then they're just going to hammer us right back down again. Who knows? But still running after hours, and it's running for a whole bunch of meme stocks, which tells me that somebody has to pay their bills. Josh Walker, GME 147. What the fruit is happening? Wait, 147. I got 143. What's the bars saying? Bars. What the heck? Huh. Weird. Okay, it's going there, Josh Walker. Everything's flying. RC bought 100,000 more shares. So there you go. So he's starting to dip into his, he can load up another, 9%? Something like that of ownership. I think he's allowed to go to 19% total, somewhere around there. So maybe he's starting to throw his weight around. Maybe he consulted the tea leaves and went, now's the time. So heck yeah, I'm all for it, man. Let's do it. Let's run, baby. Okay. What else was I gonna talk about? My brain's totally now all over the place. That's basically it. Yeah, everything's running. So good day. I think we're all very pleased right now, seeing this cycle go back up again. I'm contemplating, because, they fire this stuff up and then they kill it, and they fire it up and then they kill it, that if we are cycling like we did last year and we shoot up to that 340, 350 range before they start to hammer it back down again, I may YOLO and just try to get a whole bunch of puts. If I can gather 50 puts and it hits that 340 range and then drops right back down to where we've been for the last couple of weeks, that's $1 million, baby. So I may YOLO and see what happens with that, because I may as well ride what they're doing, and then I can load up on shares after that. So all right, to your questions, because you guys are just chitty chattering down there, and I am always going to be so far behind in everything. Okay, and I see Drew says turn off the intro. Good idea. Bam. Ha! You guys would have got a sick intro if it wasn't for Drew, so you guys can all blame him. Okay. Curious One's got some coordinates for me to go to. I'm going to wait on that, and we'll go to some finance questions first before I go to any coordinates. Jonathan says, thoughts on London Metals Exchange market, and where do you see palladium prices? Thanks, Fishware's Mattress. Happy birthday. Palladium's going to scream. They usually scream until car companies have trouble. So all these platinum group metals, the most likely place they're used is in catalytic converters. Most catalytic converters go into cars. And if vehicle production takes a huge hit like it did in 2009, then you get this weird inverse. All of a sudden, gold is worth more than platinum group metals. And which platinum group metals are worth a lot right now is just strange. So 2008 palladium was like $600 an ounce, and rhodium was like 5,000, and then platinum itself was 1,500, somewhere in there, and then just completely inversed. Like rhodium collapsed, platinum collapsed, and palladium went through the roof in the years since, and which is weird because like all those platinum group metals, they're used in those specific instances for catalytic converters. Palladium, I don't know. Palladium is not as rare as platinum or rhodium, so I don't know why palladium all of a sudden became so much more valuable. My brother-in-law did a brilliant thing because he proposed to my sister in 2008 with a palladium ring that's now worth a fortune. It was like $600 back then, and now it's thousands of dollars. But palladiums will scream in this environment until people stop building cars. So those platinum group metals, are they used in batteries at all? I can't remember if any of them are used in batteries. I know lots of rare earths are, but I'm asking the dog as if she knows. So yeah, I think platinum's gonna scream. The London Metals Exchange, there's a lot of fuckery going on. So basically, nickel screamed. They stopped trading. They canceled all trades, returned everyone's money back, like basically reverse cleared everything, and then they tried to open again, and it screamed again. They shut it off after like a minute, and now they're trying to like soft open, setting the market price lower and lower, and it is shenanigans. And a lot of commodities traders are really pissed off right now because they should have made a fortune and they haven't, and a lot of folks should have lost everything and they haven't. So I think it's a ripe opportunity for somebody in the markets to create a new metals exchange if they have the capacity to do that, because I think a lot of folks would leave the London Metals Exchange if they could and go to a market that isn't fixed, if that makes sense. So yeah, I expect to see aluminum and nickel still be pretty high for a while. Copper, up there a little bit, and then once the shit hits the fan, the market takes a collapse, people get laid off everywhere, then those metals will drop with them. John Donson says, "Oi, Houston, the change to cost to borrow was 40%. Yeah, was 47%, not the change. Oh, the change in the cost to borrow was 47%, not the cost to borrow." Okay, I was read from several people that the maximum cost to borrow fee shot to 47. So I might have read that wrong. I didn't see the actual Ortex screenshots. I just saw the tweets from people that I trust saying that. Okay. Drew says, if the DRS count was lower than some expected, does that mean we might not own the float as many times over as we think we do, meaning the price might not hit the numbers we're estimating? No. Get It Got had a really great statistical analysis of that. So as of December 31st, 9.5 million shares are DRS'd, and it was like 100 and 20,000 people did that. So the share average. Okay. Let me do some math here. So 120. Oh, it's got to do 95000. Oh, might as well do the. Oh, I've got a calculator on here. Duh. Scene calculator. Turn off Chrome. Turn off Google Earth. There we go. Okay, so we have 9.5 million. Right. We divide that by 120,000 or so investors. That puts us at 79 shares on average per investor. All right. So if we're at 1 million investors, just in the U.S., oops, then that puts us at 79 million shares owned. Okay. If we are in the range of 4 or 5 million investors, which I think is more likely, multiply that sucker by 5, and that puts us at 395 million just in the U.S. alone. 40% of all investment is foreign. So we divide that sucker by 60 and then multiply by 100. And that puts us at, oops. What happened? What happened? Go back. Where's my history? There. Okay. Oh, I divided by 60 again for some reason. Okay. I want to go with that. History. 395. 95. We'll do there. Okay. Divide that sucker by 60. And then we multiply that by 100. Okay. Then that puts us at 658 million shares worldwide on the low end, right? And that doesn't count that there's probably some big fish, some really big fish who haven't done any DRSing whatsoever. A lot of folks who are DRSing aren't DRSing their entire load. They're DRSing like 50% of their shares and keeping the other 50% in their Fidelity or Schwab or whatever accounts. So, 658 million shares owned is more than 10 times the float. If the float is 50 million, then it's 13 times the float. So 1,300% the float is owned by retail. Just from those numbers, and that's assuming that a lot of those folks that DRS'd are only DRSing part of their grand totals. So it tells me that there's a lot more shares out there trading. I mean, today we had 114 million shares trade, and if you look at the Fidelity count, we didn't sell. No, none of us are going to sell at $140 because most of us have an average probably at 140. So we're not going to sell. That's not going to happen. So there you go. Okay, see Justin Craig on my little screen here. Max cost to borrow is 47.36%. Cost to borrow change was 47.41. So we got, I can see how that would be confusing for everybody. Okay. What we got going on here? Josh Walker says RC Ventures buys another 100,000 shares today, so that's another few million. What's 100,000 shares right now? That's probably bought it like 120, somewhere around there. So he's another 12 million bucks. That's just a drop in the bucket for what he can afford. That's a nice dip in the pond. Dustin Height, Houston, happy birthday. I've checked the P.O. box lately. I've been eagerly awaiting my sticker. AMC had a pump today. I'm hoping this is the start of bigger moves. MMTLP dividend, MMAT, HYG, thoughts. Okay, so I've not checked the P.O. box. I need to go do that. I haven't checked since I went to go watch my mom for her hip surgery, so there's probably a bunch of stuff in there for me to get. I also realized I checked the P.O. box right before I went to go stay at my mom's, and I put all the stickers in the envelopes, and then I forgot to take them and mail them. So I finally got them mailed on Saturday. So you guys should be getting some stickers if you got them before. If I got them before like the 7th of March. I'm sorry about that. They were sitting right there, and I just completely forgot to take them and put them in the mailbox. So they should be starting to arrive to you. I will go check the mailbox tomorrow. I won't have time today with the show. I'll go check that tomorrow. You guys would like to take a walk down there? We can go get some hot chocolate, right? Yeah. You can kick the shit out of the other dog. Yeah. they kind of fight, and I kind of fixed it, but basically the glasses are becoming delaminated from the frame. And I pulled dogs off, and then the dog stepped all over it, or I don't know. Someone smushed my glasses, and they're holding together just barely right now. Okay, so I think there is a lot bigger moves happening across the board. We've either gotten to forced buying as a result of FTDs going too long, or someone's getting liquidated or has to meet margin, and they're buying. And the price is going up. And for some reason, the market makers are running with it because maybe the market makers loaded up on calls. What if they keep that price suppressed for a long time? Because since January, we've been down below 120 for 6-8 weeks. And that takes the implied volatility down a lot by suppressing the price quite a bit. So you buy a bunch of cheap calls, then you let it run, and you just make a bunch of cash. So I wouldn't doubt if they're going to be making a small fortune off a lot of this. Okay. So anyway, then Dustin asks, thoughts on MMTLP dividend, MetaMet, and HYG. I did buy, I got myself up to 1,000 MMTLP shares. So I was able to purchase another 190 to get myself to that nice round number yesterday. There's some talk about, so many of them are naked that they may never get paid off. You may never get the cash from them. But here's the thing, is that those shares are not going to remain these preferred shares. They're going to turn into Oil Co. shares and then be untradeable, supposedly, because they won't be on the market. Those Oil Co. shares, a bunch of the Oil Co. shares will be naked because a bunch of the Torchlight shares were naked, which means a bunch of the MMTLP shares were naked. And who knows how many naked have been generated since they started trading these things, even though they're never supposed to trade. And most of that stuff was started by Knight and by Citadel, two giant market makers that also have gotten in trouble for short selling. And so there's going to be shenanigans no matter what. I'm covering my bases because if the dividend is 10 grand or $10, that's a sweet chunk of change that I just 10x my money on. I'm happy about that. If it doesn't get paid, then liquidation happens and buybacks have to happen, which means I'm going to get paid again. So I'm okay either way. The fact that they're doing all these things naked and making things squirrely is what the entire basis of all these short squeezes are about. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'm not too concerned that I bought a security and then it's going to disappear to nothing. People can say like, hey, you're buying this at your own risk. We're not responsible if it vanishes. But if it vanishes and I don't get my money, the class action suits are going to happen no matter what. So, and then Pomerantz law firm may have something actually to sue people about, but it won't be suing metamaterials. It'll be suing all the guys who created a bunch of fake shares and sold them. Latinum. If naked shorters cannot pay MMTLP dividend, why would they be forced to purchase metamaterial? Why wouldn't they just be liquidated to pay off the dividend? Yes to both. If you fail in your obligation to pay a dividend, you must return the shares. Also, you must pay the dividend. So both things should happen. They should get liquidated, forced to pay the dividend, and liquidated, forced to buy back the shares to cover or to close the position, because they can't keep the position open anymore. Because if they have to get liquidated to pay off the stuff, they don't have the assets under management to handle that kind of margin. So they're going to be closing out both, whether they want to or not. It kind of reminds me of, my roommate is always quoting this guy. You know that show, that like prisons show that was on MSNBC for a long time, and like they like go to these guys and talk to them about prisons and whatnot. And there's this clip about this guy who's like, I'm all about the booty. You can either give it to me or I can take it from you. The choice is yours. And that's kind of where these guys are at. like I'm all about closing these positions. I can either take it from you or you can give it to me willingly. Big surprise from GMG. I didn't even look at GMG today. What did GMG do today? They also flying high? Who was that from? That was from... Wait, where's GMG? That's JM Jill. JM Jill. What did my GMG do today? Oh, is that right? Yeah, holy shit, GMG's running as well. Right there. We're working at the end. It's up 20%. Started after hours. No, right at close. And it started running. So my guess is that GMG has been shorted as well by a lot of folks. Yeah, that's interesting. These guys who are shorting these tech firms that have proven technology that's going to revolutionize things, I don't know what they're thinking. Like, they have to have interns throwing darts at a wall, be like, "Let's short that." And why would you short a company that's got battery tech that can charge people's car in a minute and give them 10 times the distance per charge? That seems like a really, really dumb idea. Can you imagine? You have a battery that can't explode in your phone. You charge it in 60 seconds, and it lasts for like 2 or 3 weeks. That type of battery tech, those solid state capacitors, supercapacitors, holy shit, they're going to revolutionize everything. And, it's going to result in us having to like completely overhaul the power grids all over the planet. But, only having to plug in your car once every couple of months, that seems like a no-brainer to me, man. And you don't have the chance of your car exploding and catching on fire and no one to be able to put it out. And you don't have to replace the batteries as often because you've got 10 times as many of them. Shorting a company like that just seems stupid, especially when they're like in the process of building their giant facility and they're going to be delivering products in like a year and a half. That I don't get it. I don't get it, man. But yes, thank you, GMG. I didn't look at the price and it just shot up right at the end there. William Morgan, hoping today wasn't another options and short rug pull. That is where I'm at, which is why I think I'm going to try and play that game as well. I think you're right, William Morgan, that we might be seeing another options run to generate a bunch of cash. But the fact that it's happening across so many of these meme stocks, is it because the ETF basket's rising and it's causing these things to rise as well? Is it happening because people are getting margin called or liquidated? Is it happening because, the market makers loaded up on a boatload of calls and they're just going to make a fortune in cash off all this? I don't know, man. It could be any of those things. And we're just kind of sitting, waiting, trying to see what's happening. Lost Wave, thoughts on former UFC heavyweight champ Cain Velasquez getting thrown in jail? Didn't he try to murder somebody? I think that someone mentioned it. We looked it up a couple weeks ago and I thought he shot at people. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Sorry, they're lost. So I can't offer too much of an opinion. But if he was shooting at people, then maybe he got arrested for a reason. Okay. Jalen Austin, hey guys, do anybody go overlanding? What type of truck do you have? Well, I've got a beautiful, dead Mitsubishi Montero in the driveway that was wonderful for overlanding till the engine exploded. It's fantastic. I've got a bed back there. I've got a full kitchen, sink, refrigerator, 2-burner stove. I've got 20 inches of ground clearance, 35-inch tires, heavy-duty old man emu suspension, 13,000-pound winch on the front, snorkel, front-to-back skid plates, rock slides, another 10 gallons of extra fuel on top of my 30-gallon fuel tank. It's a good ride, man. If the engine works. I don't know. I may drop an LS in there or something because I know those things are never going to explode on me. G Fount YYC. Easy answer, Houston. They short GMG when they need their tech to die, or they wish it to buy it for a fraction of the price. These ain't good people. Yep, you're right. They're not. They're not good people. They will gladly try to murder any promising technology that's out there. So yeah, I agree. 100%. And did I miss? I think I may have missed somebody else's. Did I miss super chat? Oh shit, I did. Sorry, Memeo. I missed your super chat. Houston, is there any way you can talk less about stocks and more about cats? I think that's what all of us want. Maybe I'm biased. I would, but the big dog still has not become buddies with the cat yet. So the cat is hiding in my roommate's room where he may never leave again. Israel Velasquez, why are options not moving on Robinhood? Options only move during trading hours. So you won't see any update to the price on options until market opens tomorrow. That's why you won't see any movement on those. They only go from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time, and that's it. And you won't. What they'll open at is like a mystery as to what's going to happen at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. So that's why you don't see them moving on Robinhood or any other platform for that matter. And even some platforms don't even show you the after hours stuff. Like your Fidelity, one thing that drives me off the wall about Fidelity is that they never show you the after hours prices of things. They just don't. They don't show it to you. You can trade in after hours things, but you have no idea what the price is at the moment. It's absolutely a silly, annoying thing. There's more of this fuzz from that creature that you destroyed. Bill Coyne, Houston. Battery tech doesn't exist yet. There will be years of R&D, so everyone is dumping money into it, and then it really kicks in. That's why they are shorting it. Well, I mean, they have proof of concept batteries that they built in their university laboratory that work. Now they're trying to see if they can do it at scale. That's what the Bosch tooling and that whole plant is all about. So, it's coming. It's coming, man. Okay. Ba ba ba. Okay. Oh, Amy R is having dinner. Sorry, Amy. Sorry to be on vacation. Andrew Stewart, Houston. What are your favorite cities in the world, U.S. to visit? Oh man. U.S. cities I don't think are as fun as cities elsewhere in the world, just because so many of them aren't very walkable. Like, you know, I had a great time in New York, visiting New York until I got mugged. And I had a wonderful time for 2 weeks, and then a bunch of kids mugged me. I had a pretty good time in Boston. They honk too much on the East Coast. I just cannot take the horn honking. Out here in Seattle, if you want to die from a road rage incident, then you honk your horn, someone will reach in their glove box and blow you away. On the East Coast, there's honking horns like crazy. And all it does is like make me just, which is why I just couldn't go to school out there. I looked at grad schools all over the East Coast, and there's just so much horn honking that I literally was like, no, I'm cool staying in the West Coast in that result. But I've loved going to Paris. Paris is a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun in London. When I was a kid in Japan, there's always something to do, like in Japan. Vancouver, Canada is a really fun city, especially in the summertime. As a kid, especially, like every neighborhood has a little community park that's like a little mini water park with like tiny little water slides and hoses and stuff. And so there's always something to do in that city. I love cities that like are really centered around stuff to do. Even free stuff, like going to a little water park. You just see a bunch of kids running around just playing in little water slides and having a great time. It's free. Like, can't beat that. Where else do I really enjoy? I mean, beach cities. I love San Diego. San Diego's a lot of fun. Going to like Mission Beach and OB. Those places are great. I haven't been to like any cities, like Florida city since I was a kid. I should be going to Tampa maybe for a wedding at the end of May. So, well, we'll see about that. I've got to figure out how to take care of this thing for a week if I go to a wedding. But man, I only spent a few hours with my new buddy Martin in Zurich, and that was a pretty chill place. Very fancy. I really don't know how there's like a dozen shops all selling Rolexes across from each other. Like, how do you pick which place to go buy a Rolex? Can you pit them against each other? Is there a competition where you can just drive down the price of Rolexes because there's so much competition on the street? I don't know. But yeah, Berlin's pretty cool. I need to visit more cities that are outside Europe and go to the Southern Hemisphere someday. But yeah, just go everywhere. Go everywhere. Pick a direction and start walking. That's the best way to see a city is like, get off the plane, check into your hotel, and just go. I'm going to go that way and just walk that way for 4 hours and see where you end up. You're going to pass through all sorts of things. And then, you go the next block over and you come back. See all the things on that block. Use your feet to travel, man. It's fun. William Morgan, rumor, someone came up 380 million short on margin requirements. Nobody will loan them the money. They are covering today at after hours, small short. I think that is a sign of our liquidity crisis right now. There isn't the cash available to do these things, because all that cash right now I think is tied up at the Federal Reserve. Because all this cash was a liability at these banks, and this reverse repo has been sucking this cash out of the banks for the last 9 months, and so the banks are low on cash and can't afford to give out loans so these guys can meet their margin requirements. So this might be the start of liquidations. Small guys, these are little canaries in the coal mine. There's a lot of canaries dying in this coal mine right now. There's like dead canaries all over the place, and then there's a whole bunch of people that are just like, everything's fine, we're cool. Yeah. So there we go. Houston, what's the deal with UVXY? Calls will print in the event of a crash. Seems unreal that it'll hit the thousands, and it's sitting at less than $20. That's because the SPY is being propped up right now. So and the last time we had a big old market dip, which was March 20th, 2020, right in there, UVXY was $900. I think they've had a split since then on that ETF, but still, when it all dips, that's a high volatility index. It should just rocket. But right now, the SPY is being propped up probably by the plunge protection team, trying to mitigate what type of damage is happening in other markets around the world, because we're seeing big red in London, big red in Frankfurt, big red in Tokyo, big red in Hong Kong. Like all these other markets are all dropping hard, but we're not. They go down 5%, we go down 1%, and then we're right back up again. I think it's our plunge protection team just printing cash and buying up securities and propping up the price of these things. And who knows how long they can do that for and still manage to fight inflation. Because if the Fed is battling itself by printing cash and by raising interest rates, then, nothing's going to change. You need to rip that Band-Aid at some point, and it's going to suck when it does, but you have to let things slide into a bear market. But I think they're trying to ease us into it rather than just let it go blonk and then we're in a bear market. So I think they're trying to gently, just cradle us down and just set us down into a bear market rather than just collapse and everyone's, pulling their hair out and screaming, which might be wise, or it might just be creating a giant bubble that's going to crash even harder when the Fed stops printing. I don't know. And William Morgan, Evergrande had a bad day. Accounts were cleaned out. Yep, they will not be able to pay. Tomorrow they owe $2.1 billion in principal on their loans, and they cannot pay. They also announced that their audit has basically failed, so they won't have their audit done, which means that they won't be able to say how many assets they have to be liquidated, to be able to pay off all this stuff, which tells me that everyone who has a bond from one of these Chinese real estate companies, they're going to have to write it off. And I don't know how long they're going to wait until they write it off, because a lot of them can't afford to. Their margin is dependent upon these bonds from China and from Russia. And if they have to write off hundreds of billions of dollars in bonds all of a sudden, then every play that they've made for the last 30 years comes due. Oh, look at that sweet little dog. You're so cute in your little camera. So, they're going to try to ignore it for as long as they can. They're like, oh, no, everything's fine. We still have billions of dollars in bonds, so we don't have to get margin called. But eventually it's just going to be, it's over. You're not getting your money back. The $300 billion that Evergrande owes doesn't exist. None of you are getting anything. It's over. But they'll wait as long as possible before that happens. Meow meow. All this price movement on GME, they're going to short to oblivion, aren't they? Oh, hell yeah. I mean, if last year was any indication, they're gonna let the sucker run, and then they'll get to 348, and then they're just gonna hammer it right back down again. Because they probably had a bunch of calls They're going to make 20 grand off every single one of those calls and have a giant pile of cash. Then they're going to buy a bunch of puts with it and then short it back down. It's going to drop $250 on every single one of those shares. And then they're going to make another 20, 25 grand. And then they're going to let it go back up again. And they're just going to pump it up and down that way until they're not allowed to anymore. Which is why I think I'm going to try and maybe play that game a little bit. Not do the weeklies, but buy calls are a little bit further up, because who knows when they're going to make the stuff go up and down. But if that price gets to 350 and you can load up on 50 puts and it drops right back down to where we are now, then you just made $1 million cash. So, you know, why not? I'm not financial advice, but I'm going to be dumb enough. I might try to play those lotto tickets, because I can do a lot with $1 million that I can't do when I don't have $1 million, right? Like, yeah, why not? I would love to be like, I have $1 million. Suck it, losers. And then I lose it all by trying to play the game again. Okay. Travis Wright, with recent data showing the eastern Antarctic is 70 degrees warmer than normal, how long do we have before the planet becomes a long overdue sequel to the criminally underrated water world? Not long. Because the ocean levels are rising at a logarithmic rate, meaning, in 1992, ocean levels were rising at 1.2 millimeters per year. In 2015, they're rising at 3.3 millimeters a year. Now it's rising at like 3.7 millimeters a year. So it's gaining every year. More and more land ice is melting and going into the ocean, and ocean levels are rising at an ever-increasing rate. The good thing about what would happen is it won't be quite water world. There's not enough water on land to make it go to like where Mount Everest is going to be a little island. There's not enough land ice to raise water levels 25,000 feet. So I don't have to worry about that. It can raise it 50 to 100 feet, which would really suck. That would put probably 1 to 2 billion people underwater. It would put 70% of all oil refineries, chemical plants, solid waste treatment plants, nuclear power plants underwater. That would be brutal. And every port. Like, there wouldn't be a single port in the world. We would not be able to move trade at all, except by doing air freight. And air freight would, wouldn't be able to do that because we wouldn't have any fuel. So we need to start doing something about this. We can't afford that, man. Okay. Josh Pet Pals, Tennessee. Let's freaking go. Happy birthday. One of these days. What causes a gravitational pull to become weaker? Is that possible? I.e., could the Earth ever lose it completely? No. Gravitational pull can only get weaker if you remove mass. And the Earth gains about 2,000 tons in mass every single day from dust falling from outer space. So the Earth has only gained mass ever since. Oh, you got Hunter Jackson in here? Hunter, hello. Welcome. Yeah. Is he? I don't see you. I see people saying hi, but I don't see his thingy there. Get it, cause telling me don't options, just buy in DRS. I know. I'm a risky person there. Get a gut, you know it. Okay. So yeah. So we won't lose any gravity. The only thing so you can lose mass and gravity can become weaker, or you can get farther away from a gravitational source. So the force of gravity is a 1 over r squared law, an inverse square law, which means, if the power of gravity is 1 when you're 1 meter away, when you're 2 meters away, it's 1 over 2 squared. So it's 1/4 as much. And if you're 3 meters away, it's 1/9 as much, and so on. So gravity drops off significantly over distance. Which is why, you have spheres of influence in gravity. So like the moon is trapped inside the Earth's sphere of influence, and then the moon-Earth system is trapped inside the sun's sphere of influence. Whereas we aren't being influenced by Jupiter. Jupiter's too far away. There's a lot of astrology folks will try to tell you, oh, there's forces of all these planets out there. And they try to explain that as why astrology works, which it doesn't. When I can prove to them mathematically that this jar of water 1 meter away from me has more gravitational pull than the planet Jupiter. So there's no way a star that's 500 light years away is going to have more effect on my life than that glass of water does if we're talking about natural forces. Cool. All right. Do we? Jackson, do you want to come on? If you're around, do you want to jump on here? Jackson says, Houston, all meme stocks started moving 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. AMC, GME, Express, Cost, Sundial. Yeah, so that means that tells me somebody got vaporized at 9:30. Do you want to jump on here, bud? I can set up a whatchamajigger, Zoom thing if you want to. Just give me a nod if you want to. We'd love to have you by. Bullish on Houston Sec intro. Oh yeah, I forgot to go back and do coordinates. So I'm gonna do Bullish's coordinates, might as well. Control C, copy. And then I'll go back and do the one from the very beginning because I totally already forgot to do that. Google Earth, where are we going, Bullish? Bam, bam, bam. Okay, we're leaving Timmins, Ontario, flying across the world. Fishing for end result. Let's fucking go. Congrats to all option shareholders. Okay, we've got ourselves a giant hoo-ha out in the middle of, where are we? I wasn't even looking where we're going. We are in the middle of, we're in the middle of Africa, right smack dab in the middle of Africa, the very center of Africa, right at the top of the Serengeti here is a giant hoo-ha. This is definitely Africa's vagina that we're looking at. Okay. That's just lovely. Should we turn it so that, oops, there we go. There's Africa's lady bits. Okay. Oh, I love you guys so much. Okay, let me scroll up here and get Curious Ones while we're here. Curious One, if you sent me South America's hoo-ha, I will just die. Where are we going? Oh, you don't like that? Why don't you like that? Because I forgot to put W in there. Bam. There we go. Flying around the world. Going across Pacific. We are in either Canada or northern U.S. I can't tell. What does this say? Great place to camp. Stunning display of the Milky Way on a clear night. Extraordinary place to wander about at night. Why did Jimmy search today? Please. Milk River. I've never been on the Milk River. Where are we? Where are we? We are right northern Montana. Okay, right in the border with Canada. No, we're in Canada. Right in the border with Montana. There we go. Huh, I've never been through here. Bet this is good dinosaur country though. Lots of dinosaur bones out in this area. Looks like there's some badlands along these canyons. That's a cool place. Yeah. Yeah. I've always wanted to go to West Butte here. I haven't made there yet either. Well, if this stuff runs, I'm going to a lot of places. All right. Good spot, Curious One. I love to camp along a new river. I'm going to try and go to Banff again this year. I'll see if I make it up here to Banff. Beautiful. Do the World Media Festival and try and sell my Geology show again. Hopefully we won't have another pandemic or whatever. Cancel everything. But, we'll make it happen. Okay. Okay, I gotta look see if Jackson said yes or no. Squamps, can you guys make a show called Houston Hunter, and you guys hunt rocks? Yeah, why not? The whole market rests its next move. Okay. Jackson, you still around? Do you want to jump on? Shoot me a message. Say thumbs up, and I will create a Zoom for you to jump onto. All right, back to the chat. Back to the main part of the chat. Okay, where am I? That's Travis Wright's question about sea level rise. More stuff about RC buying 100,000 shares, which, if he's going to make these purchases, he's probably going to do it piecemeal, bit at a time. because why not? You want to like keep them going. More big purchases happening because he's allowed to buy another 8 million shares, I think. So he can do this 80 times. That's impressive. William Morgan, Carl Icahn says there very well could be a recession or even worse. I agree. I think all of this is very, very telling that, like we've been talking about for months, like everything's been on like the edge of a cliff for so long that something's got to go over. Nothing can balance on the edge of that thing forever. So yeah. Oh, you got so much breath you just want to breathe on everybody, don't you? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, you big dummy. Big glasses destroying monster try to eat my friend's dogs. Yeah. Yeah, you're so lovely with me, but everyone comes near me, you're going to kill him. That's what you're going to do. This dog got very surprised that I can pick him up and slam him on the ground and dominate him. He immediately just went, because I don't think anyone in my sister's family can do that. So he's been thoroughly dominated. He knows what it's like to not be the most powerful thing in the house. And he perhaps has learned that he shouldn't destroy my glasses. Okay. All right. Bex, happy birthday. I had a bunch of questions about Bed Bath & Beyond having a float twice the size of outstanding shares. 103% institutional ownership, but let's fucking go. I mean, they're just like all these meme stocks have institutional ownerships that are way higher than the float. They're all every step of the way for these stocks is something shady going on, and that's just where we are. Don't you put your head in the keyboard? You know the rule. You stick it on the armrest. Every single one of them have really shady institutional ownerships involved because they're buying and lending and buying and lending and buying and lending and buying. And the naked shorts are being created, and everyone's buying up the naked shares, and it's just pandemonium of greed that is on the horizon to coming to an end. That's where it's that light is at the end of the tunnel. I just don't know when we're going to get there, but once everything just goes, then the SEC is going to dump all these rules. Congress is going to pass all sorts of laws, and they're going to just ban naked short selling, and they're going to keep these guys from doing that in the future, because whatever crash comes is going to be the result of those assholes being assholes and getting away with it for as long as they have. You can only get away with this stuff until you can't anymore, and then you got to change the rules. So they'll find the next little window that they can exploit, and they'll exploit the shit out of it until they crash the economy again, and then we'll make a rule about it can't do that, and they'll find the next little loophole, and they'll do it again, and for the next 1,000 years. So we got to slowly just tick off those boxes. And what will happen also is they'll make a law that says you can't naked short sell anymore. Reg shows out the window, just none of it's happening. And then 40 years down the line, like, you know what? Like, naked short selling has been a problem, so let's just get rid of this rule, and we'll start all over again, because I'd love to do that. Everyone likes to forget their history. Okay. And where are we at right now in the after hours? Are we still in that 140 zone? Or is it... it's dropped. Okay, we have a little drop off here happening, so maybe some buying stopped. I don't know. We're down to 139, so we're still hovering around 140. Cost jumped a lot. Man, what's cost up today? Cost is up 29% today, another 18% after hours, so cost is running. About to be green on that again. That's nice. Yeah, okay. Bed Bath Beyond one. Nick Padovano, what's your opinion on canceling student loan debt and how student loan asset-backed securities can be similar to mortgage-backed securities of 2008? I say we cancel student loan debt. Just wipe it off the map, make public colleges tuition-free, and give stipends to students the way they do elsewhere in the world. There's no reason to stick an 18-year-old with $100,000 in debt so that when they leave work, they've got to take a 6-month free unpaid internship in order to get work anywhere in their field. It's absolutely stupid. No other country does this to their students. Like, just, we don't get $100,000 in loans to go to high school. So why are we doing it for college? Just take care of it. We've got closing in on $2 trillion in student debt right now. If there's going to be any bailouts, just have the government just print money and pay that off. Boom, done. You just bailed out like 30% of the population. And people can start, buying homes and being consumers and starting families and doing the things that they've been putting off because they've got thousands and thousands of dollars a month in student loans to pay for. It's a dumb system. You can graduate with $80,000 in student loans, pay what you're supposed to pay every single month for 20 years, and you look at it and you owe $130,000 in student loans. It's a stupid system. Absolutely stupid. College shouldn't be just for the rich. If we want to have a meritocracy, we need to have equal opportunity education for every human being that lives in this country. Why? Because, sometimes the rich person isn't the smart person. And sometimes the poor person isn't the dumb person. You want to be able to have the best of the best, learn what they're good at, and be able to contribute to society at their absolute peak. And sometimes that peak is they're a genius welder and they're going to go into a trade. Or, they love working with wood, so they're going into construction. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get a college degree and become a business bro or an engineer or scientist or even an English major or whatever. But having people be able to contribute at whatever their potential is helps everyone. And I don't think we should have a system where only the rich can go and have that. Right? I just don't think that should happen. So we need to revamp our entire education system. Yeah, going to private school, whatever, take out loans. You're going to private school. It's different than going to a state institution that gets a boatload of funding from the public anyway. These loans are all guaranteed by the federal government anyway. Just have the federal government just pay for your college. It'd be $65 billion a year will be going to paying for people's college versus the $65 billion a year it's costing them to guarantee these loans that are ruining people's lives. Just it's public school. Make it free. Give them a stipend, just like they do in Norway and Denmark and France and Germany, places like that. Okay. Okay, people talking about after hours run. Did I miss any Hunter Jackson? Sorry if I didn't see him jump in here. He may have wandered away into the night. I don't see it there. Okay. Legacy 10 Productions, Houston, can you explain to us the market maker signals using level 2 trading data? Has this been effective in their tomfoolery? Go Mariners, happy birthday. My fish was a mattress. So this is stuff that people have figured out in the last 9 months or so. I can't remember the guy's name at all. He would pop on Astros. He had a very thick Southern accent. He'd pop on Astros feed. And he's like, I could predict any price of any stock within 15 minutes. And he deciphered all the codes that these market makers will run, hedge funds will run in the layer 2. So if you see orders for $700, for 700 shares, that means they want to raise the price. If you see ones for 777, means the same thing. They see ones for like 1200, it means let it run. You see it for, I can't remember all the, let me see if I can find the, one sec. Someone posted the link and I retweeted it, and oops, go here, go there. That'll be in my notifications bonnet. Where is someone will have it. Where are you, man? Where are you? I know you're in here. Sorry, just take me a sec. Scrolling. Most exciting thing in the entire world. There it is. Okay. So, scene. Turn off the Google Earth. Got to assign the Chrome, so I forgot to do that. Bam. There we go. Okay, so this is what's been deciphered by folks. this little example, a little GIF showing the share orders. When you get certain numbers in there, it means that they're telling other market makers and hedge funds what's about to happen. It's total collusion. It should be illegal. All these guys should go to prison for it. But this is a small run of what's been deciphered. So, a 100, I need some shares. 200, I need shares badly, but do not take the stock down. 300, I'm taking the stock down at least 30% so I can load more shares. 400, keep trading sideways. 500, gap the stock. Gap can be up or down depending on direction of 500 signal. 505, I'm short on shares. 600, apply resistance to the ask to keep the price from increasing. 700, move the price. 777, also move the price. 800, prepare for an increase in trading volume. 900, allow the stock to float and trade freely. 911, pending issues, press release on the way. 1000, don't let it run. 2100, let it run. And there's other ones like 1650s and things in there that other folks have deciphered. They'll put these orders in, and before they can trigger, they'll cancel them and run another one. So they got computer programs that will run this stuff as part of their high frequency trading system. So they'll run a whole bunch of 100s, and then they may cancel them because they don't need the shares anymore. So they'll cancel all the 100 orders, and so on. So if you guys have money and want to really fuck with a stock, and you want the price to rise, just throw a bunch of 700 orders in there for, whatever penny stock you want to move. Load up on that penny stock and throw a bunch of 700 orders in there. Why not? Yeah. So I'll post the link in here into the chat for you guys. Bam. There's the link for you. You can go look at it. I don't know what all the other ones are. That guy who called into Astro's feed sometime this past summer, there's probably a dozen more that mean all sorts of different things, such as specific prices they're going to move it to. Like they put the price, let's say it's $16.50, and so you put an order in of AMC at $22, and you do 1,650 of them. That means in 15 minutes, the price is going to be $22, basically. So there's all sorts of codes that will run that way. Clayton Gross. The government announced we need to be on the lookout for Russian cyber attacks. $20 says if this pops up, they will blame this on that. Really good, perfectly timed excuse. Tinfoil hat stuff. Lol. Yeah, the Russians have been hacking. They hacked the largest logistics company in the entire world right as they were invading Ukraine. So the company that kind of runs the control systems of all the ports on the East Coast got hacked, got ransomware, and their computers all don't work. I think it's interesting. Some of the open source intelligence guys that I follow, they talk about how the U.S. doesn't really retaliate much with their cyber attacks because they're holding their technology close to the chest. So Russia will run out and they'll do ransomware attacks and cyber attacks and DDoS attacks and stuff like that. DOS, denial of service attacks. And the U.S. doesn't really ever retaliate. We don't do much. We apparently did one cyber attack that destroyed all the centrifuges at one of the Iranian enrichment plants. But Russia attacks, and we just don't do anything because we don't want them to know what we're capable of. We want to say, I think it is because we want to save it for when it matters most, and then they'll unleash hell. Because if you let some of these codes go out there, then they have the ability to go, oh, they recognize that thing, and they can make a counter to it. But if you're spending all your time doing little pissing matches the way Russia is, where they're like, oh, we're gonna flick the lights off here, or ransomware this computer, or then they start to like show their hand, and their creative process has spent so much time doing pissy little things, and when it comes time to do something big, they don't have the ammo anymore. Which is kind of what we're seeing on the ground in Ukraine, that they're running out of smart bombs. They're having to use dumb bombs. They're running out of munitions, so they're using ancient stuff. They're giving conscripts literally World War I era iron sight single shot rifles. There's video footage of trucks pulling World War I machine guns on trailers into the conflict. So they're out of stuff. They played their hand, and now they're desperately trying to find anything that's lethal. And now they're up against, they got iron sight conscripts up against seasoned Ukrainians who have night vision and red dot scopes. It's silly. So yeah, the U.S. is holding its cyber stuff close to the chest, and Russia is just spraying everything they got out there. And I wouldn't doubt they'll try to hack us. They're trying to goad the U.S. into the conflict to give Russia the excuse to, I don't know, launch a nuke or something. I don't know why they'd want to do that. It seems like the dumbest, most futile plan in the entire world. Like, oh, we got him in here, now it wants a nuke, and then the world's over. Good job. Good job, you idiots. Okay. All right. So I am so far behind in the chat. So far behind. Okay. All right. Okay. Not seeing that there. Squamps says, you can also dump rubbing alcohol down your bathroom sink, wait 30 seconds, light it on fire, and watch a 3-foot raging flamethrower erupt from your sink, blow up your house, but you shouldn't. Yeah, don't do that. That is not life advice. Okay. All right. Hey, we got a good number of folks in here. We got 635 of you in here. That's the most I've had in a while. Welcome, everybody. Okay, Bobby Norwood, Expit just posted in your chat about Metamaterials preferred share special dividend. He was credited in his account. Did it happen again? Where was that? Someone mentioned it in here. Oh, there it is. Expit. Meta preferred stock dividend balance has dropped a little, now showing £39.56. Up 3956. Weird. I don't have it all on mine. What Expit, what broker do you use there in the UK? I'd be curious to see if anyone else has something like that showing up on theirs. I've got mine in Fidelity. Go back to Fidelity here. Yeah, I got nothing. I show that each MMTLP is at $1.50 right now. Who knows what's doing after hours? Not a clue. Not a clue. But weird. Okay. Well, there you go. Fork and power outlet. Russia nukes Ukraine on 5th of May as per Simpsons cartoons. And the Simpsons do have a crystal ball unlike anyone else, so that can be as legit as anything right there. Yeah. We all know the Simpsons predict everything. Okay. Oh, okay. You just reset again, you jerk. Stop resetting. Stop resetting. Okay. All right. So, sorry I missed some folks in like the 3:40 to 4 o'clock range. Your chats are gone now because everything reset. People asking people or text to check the short interest. I bet short interest probably did change today. Brandon M. is reading on Wall Street Bets that buying calls on ETF really doesn't work. I mean, sometimes they do, but ETFs are so manipulated because there's no rules about how they get shorted and get pulled apart. There needs to be some regulation. That's one of the things also the SEC needs to do is regulate how these ETFs are created, how they're manipulated, how they're shorted. Because you can just create them. You can buy a bunch of shares and just make your own and add to the pool. It's very weird. So, yeah. Boo, boo, boo. Boku. All right. Crack Rock says big stocks have bullish crossings or robo trades can't resist. We did have a death cross pop up last week, didn't we? Death crosses usually result in shit in the fan. Boom, boom, boom. Stonkonator, Houston received my sticker today. Yeah, I still have like 50, maybe 60 stickers left. So I got that many. So if you guys want to get stickers, remember self-addressed stamped envelope to the PO box in the description, and self-addressed stamped envelope, and I will send you a sticker. So yeah, do it. Send me those envelopes, and I'll get you the stuff. Sorry, my phone's exploding right now. Is it important? Is it? Oh, my dad's asking my mom's birthday. All right. All right, there we go. He's had too many wives. He can't remember all their birthdays. Okay. People talking about Waterworld. Waterworld was a pretty good movie. It was definitely underrated and super expensive. I mean, it'd be the equivalent of like spending $1 billion on a movie today. How much it cost them? Anytime you work with water, it's going to make a movie expensive. Because remember, like, think about Titanic, right? So you have all these scenes. People they built this fake ship set. They have water rushing down and sweeping everyone around, bonking them off of bulkheads and stuff. And then somebody, their top flies off. Who knows? They got to cut. They got to drain all the water out, dry out everything, get everybody new, fresh costumes, and do it again. It gets really expensive when you're dealing with water in film. That's why in my math for film class we do all this, like, you're making a movie with water. How much money is it going to take to budget this thing? Which is why, like, you don't see very many pirate films. You don't see very many sea captain films. You get them every once in a while, but they're just so expensive that no one wants to take the gamble on them. And the Pirates of the Caribbean movies were pretty much the only really, truly successful ones that came out about that stuff. Okay. Well, and Titanic. I think Waterworld just lost a ton of money. I think people didn't know what to make of it. J-Dog knew it was going to be a good week when Cramer was saying not to buy GME Monday morning. Yep, the Cramer rule applies like at all times. Just do the opposite of what he says and just do what Nancy Pelosi does, and you'll be fine. That's, you got those two. If you are within the confines of both of those rules, those are your absolute values. Stick with those rules. Okay. William Morgan, Evergrande must pay $2.1 billion in bond payments tomorrow, or it's principal payments, not just interest. It's principal. I thought it was interest, but I looked it up again. It's principal, so that's a big deal. They aren't paying the principal. That means financial institutions can't use those bonds as collateral. Yep. So we're going to have a lot of folks, I think, go underwater suddenly on these Chinese bonds like that tomorrow. So maybe we're going to have more runs. Maybe tomorrow's going to be a big day. I hope so. We'll see. I would like everything to print. That'd be great. Okay. And Evergrande has failed its annual audit required by the SEC, which can lead to delisting. So yeah, there you go. A lot of bad stuff happening there. Canadian Moose, hello there in Montreal. Okay. Hi, Houston. Thoughts on the company Blue Lagoon Resources and their Dome Mountain project? Not a clue. Are they a junior mining company? It's from SJ. Let's do a quick little look up here. Blue Lagoon Resources, Dome Mountain. All year accessible project, located 50-minute drive from Smithers, BC. So we're in Canada. Could do 75 million tons annually, 75,000 tons annually. Sorry, it's a mining project. Oh, you guys can't see that because I don't have it clicked on. So where are we? Smithers, Tekla. There's Houston, Topley. So we're out way up here. Like, oh, it's way up there. That's up there in the Great White North for sure. I've never been to Houston, BC. I probably should go to Houston, BC someday. But it's a very mineralogically rich area, that's for sure. No, go away, Blue Lagoon. I don't want your shit. Okay, additional properties 15 known high-grade gold veins. Boom, 90% nearly 19,000 acre property, hectare property yet to be explored. That's a huge, giant piece of land. 19,000 hectares. Hectare is 1,000 meters by 1,000. So 46,950 acres. So duh. That's going to be like 70 square miles. Somewhere around there. 46950 divided by 620. No, you did that wrong. 46950 divided by 620. 75 square miles of land in the area. There's good chance there's lots of mineralization in something that big. Where did I go? Dome Mountain. There we go. So 60 kilometers east of Smithers. Dome Mountain, 15 known gold-bearing veins located in the property. Gold mineralization first located in the 1800s. Considerable surface. Blah blah blah. Some underground work was done in the 20s. Resumption exploration in the 80s. The discovery of Boulder Vein System 85. Underground mining was initiated in 91 by Timmins Nickel. All right, Timmins, the Ontario company. 43,900 tons, an average of 12 grams per ton. So about, not quite half ounce per ton, which is really good. That's actually really good. So underground mining. So they have lots of tunnels. These guys, if their land is 75 square miles, they're going to be building thousands of kilometers of tunnels. Yeah. Okay. I mean, if they're running at 12 grams per ton, that's going to be a profitable mine. Very profitable. And this is at $1,300 per ounce is what they were calculating at, and now it's closer to $2,000 an ounce. So, yeah. So just quick glance at their numbers. They're going to make profit. They got a boatload of gold. Just a boatload. So, but they're spending a lot of money on drilling. So they're doing 26 holes, 3,800 meters in 2020. So each meter runs at about $500 per drill. So they're spending, $1 million on $1.5 million, $1.6 million just in drilling right now to prove what they have, which tells me they're funded and they're good to go. Dang, some of these veins, 107 grams per ton and 278 in silver per ton. All right. So there's going to be some good numbers coming out of this. So this seems like a good mining project. Much better than HYMC. I'll tell you that much. Okay, who was it that chatted me that one? Sorry, I totally lost. That was SJ. Yeah, that seems like a much better mining project. High-grade ore at those numbers is money. And I think I have a dog hair in my eyeball. Dang, dog, you shed so much. Like, it's everywhere. It's inside my mouth and my nose and just in my eyeball. And I can't see out of this eye. Just, you shed so much. Okay. Oop, who was that? Hamovic says 0 shares available to borrow for AMC. So we are definitely 100% utilization there. Cameron Mirza, go Team Ryan Cohen. Don't billionaires have access to privileged information? They often do. They can afford all sorts of investigators and things like that. So yeah, I think Ryan Cohen knows exactly what he's doing, exactly what he's doing. His gag order's gone. He's got an agreement that allows him to buy another 9% of the company. He's starting to attack the shorts directly with his tweets and with his buying power. He's going to throw his weight around, and I think Ryan Cohen, like, yeah, you're a billionaire, cool, you did that. Now I think he's going for legend status, and being a legend that lasts forever. You can't take your money with you, but the story of your myth and legend will carry on throughout history. Bullions, what we need now is a tweet from DFV. Yeah, that guy's had been on gag order too for a long time. Okay. Anna Rolnick Houston, do you ever go to casinos? What games do you play? What games have the best odds of winning? I mean, blackjack, I think, is your game with best odds of winning, if I remember correctly. I used to teach my students how to count cards when I did my probability section in my life math class. I'm not really a gambler. Like, if I play poker, it's with my friends, and I just wait for them to all get drunk, and I take their money from them. So that's, I'm just like fold for 2 hours, then they're hammered, then I start just cleaning them out. Why? Because I want their money. But I'm not really a gambler. Casinos aren't particularly fun for me. I don't like being in like smoky environments. There's a casino near me called Clearwater Casino. It's a one that's on a reservation, just a few minutes from my house. And on Wednesday nights, there used to be like crazy 80s cover band that would play at the casino, and my friends and I would go. And, we're not the most attractive people, but we would definitely bring that entire room from a 2 to a 4 just by walking in the door. Folks that hang out at a casino are in rough shape, especially on a Wednesday at like 11 o'clock at night. Rough crowd, very rough crowd. And there was this one prostitute who would always like follow me around begging for me to be her client when we'd go and be like, look, girl, at this point you'd be paying me because you just don't want to go home with one of those that are out there. You're desperately hoping that someday I'm going to be desperate enough. It's not going to happen. I could pull any of these Shrek characters I want out of this crowd. Tell Adam Aaron to buy more AMC shares. Yeah, he's not going to do that. His name is San Diego, Africa. Referring to the great hoo-ha of the Serengeti. Bill Coin, by the time everything squeezes, all my millions won't be able to buy a 10-year-old well-used pickup. Pretty much. All right. Phil Scribb, we need Elon to buy AMC. It would win-win for him. Make money in the stock and new customers for his cars. If I had the type of wealth available to me as an Elon or a Jeff Bezos, I would definitely fuck shit up. Like, if you can throw $30 billion at something and just watch the mayhem ensue, why not? Why not do that? I mean, he could put in an order to buy the float of one of these companies 10 times over just for the shits and giggles and just to see what happens, right? Why not? Why not do it? Squamps, Houston should offer a sweepstakes where we can enter for like $5 chance to win a spaghetti dinner with Houston. I'll eat spaghetti with anyone. Spaghetti's delicious. I love spaghetti. Gee, Font, are you up near Banff? I know you're in Calgary, right? Yeah. So if you go to Banff, come meet up. It's the 12th to 15th, I believe, is the World Media Festival. I still need to buy a ticket. I haven't done that part yet. Maybe if these calls begin to print, I continue to print, I'll be able to get my ticket. Let's see here. Oh, we're back up to 143 on GME. So it dipped a little bit and seems to be plateauing right now. So not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. I mean, my portfolio, not updating calls right now because the calls don't update after hours. But my portfolio is up 60% today. That's not too bad. That's a pretty good day. No, more than that, 70%. Sorry, because there's another 10% after hours happened. So that's a good day for anybody. I think you guys should, enjoy the green because they're gonna hammer it back down again in a day or two. So just know that we're gonna ride that roller coaster all over again. And yeah, so there we go. All right. Okay. Wooden Puppet, I want to watch a geology show. I want to watch my geology show too. Have you guys seen the little trailer, the sizzle reel we made? So I did a Kickstarter in 2013 to make a pilot for a show. We went out, we filmed the show, but I didn't have the cash available to do the tech, the computer graphics and things that would enhance stuff. Because talking about this volcano came up and then this flooded out and a lake came in and these minerals got formed. So I talk about that stuff, but the hope was that there would be animation showing these things. And I was teaching at the Art Institute at the time, and there's lots of students in animation, and I paid one of my students $3,000 to make me some animations, and then she just never did. So well shit, there goes that. So we have a sizzle reel without the cool animations that's about 5 minutes long, kind of explaining the concept of the show. It's in the YouTube channel. So if you look back to Get Your Rocks Off, which is the name of the show, you'll find that in the YouTube channel. But the idea is basically every week we go to a different location and we show everyone a famous mineral or geologic phenomena. We talk about how the Earth made it, where you can find it, famous examples of it out there. Then we go and get it. So we might talk about sapphires and famous examples of sapphires out there and the wars that were fought about them and where they're found around the world and how they form. And then we'll go someplace. We'll go to Montana or to Burma and we'll go find some. And then when we find them, we'll do something cool with them and sell them. Or, bring a Hollywood star along. I imagine, we can take a Charlize Theron and we dig a bunch of rubies in Laramie, Wyoming. And we get her several hundred carats of rubies. She cuts them. She designs a piece of jewelry. She wears it to the Oscars. And then we auction it for charity for $1 million or something. So in the process of doing something cool, you learn about what's in your backyard and how to go find this stuff. And you can also, we could talk about the devastating earthquake that happened in Nepal a few years ago and the processes that happened there and why that is a geologically active place. Or we can talk about why oil was discovered in California or why there's diamonds all throughout North America no one's exploiting, even though there's more diamonds in the US and Canada than there are pretty much on any other continent, but we just don't mine them that much here. So I really kind of want to bring, the hows and whys of it and just show people that all this stuff comes from somewhere. And, it doesn't just appear fully formed at Walmart. There's a bauxite mine in Jamaica that shipped all of its material to cheap hydroelectric power and got smelted in Iceland. And then that moved to a factory in China. A bunch of cans were stamped out and so on. All this stuff comes from somewhere and there's something behind it. And I just want people to know why and how. So we'll get there. We'll get there. I did trade Spider. I got totally scammed by my student. She is forever on my shit list. Okay. What's next charity show for? Next charity show is going to be on next Tuesday. And I think we're going to do, what's that world food? Jose Andres, what's his nonprofit called? World Central Kitchen. I think we're going to raise money for World Central Kitchen. He's doing lots of work feeding refugees coming out of Ukraine. So we're going to do Chef Andreas's World Central Kitchen. We're gonna raise some meals. So he's done 1 million meals so far, in just the past few weeks on the Polish side. He's done magnificent work. Whenever there's a tragedy somewhere, hurricanes, earthquakes, his group is there to make sure people get fed. Not just fed, but with amazing food too. It's one of the best charities there are. So we're gonna raise money for World Central Kitchen next Tuesday and help some of those refugees coming out of Ukraine. So that's what we're gonna do. Hope that works for you guys. That'll be Tuesday's charity show next week. What's the date on that? The 29th? Yes, 29th. So next Tuesday, 29th, charity show for that. So look for that. Any info about Mullen? No, they got hammered down. What's their price looking at? Did I put them on my? I can't remember if I put them on my list. I think I did. No, I didn't. Why the heck not? Mullen was looking like it was going to run, and then it got hammered down. So, but no, it's up. It's at 338. So it went up today. It rose with everything else. What were they earlier this week? Come on. Yeah. So they spiked at $4 on yesterday, dropped right back down, and rose up again. So they're running. They're running just like everyone else. Mullen Automotive is like, they've got some cool tech. They've got some display cars. The problem is that they are stuck with everyone else with the shortage in semiconductors, and they're low man the totem pole. If Ford is having a hard time getting semiconductors, a nobody like Mullen isn't going to get them. And for an electric car, you need about 2,000 semiconductors for each electric vehicle. So that's what a lot of these supply chain issues are running about. And so they got shorted like crazy. Oh, sorry, one of these chat cam stupid things popped up here. All right, so good. Someone took care of them. Thank you for doing that. They're Proj son. And they're just not going to be able to actually produce anything. So they got shorted. The problem is they got shorted more than their actual volume, and they're. Oh, is that okay? Sorry, my mom's asking me to go do some shopping for her after my show. All right. She wants me to go do her shopping for her and get her a lotto ticket. Okay, there we go. That's what my mother's tasking me with tonight. So, you know, they legitimately got shorted for a reason, because they have no access to these semiconductors. The problem is that everyone got greedy and shorted them too much. So now it doesn't matter what fundamentals are behind the company. It's going to be a short squeeze play as a result. It's like, you know how you can get boom and bust cycles of animal populations. Like there's distemper going around. So a bunch of like raccoons and coyotes, they all get distemper. The population drops, and then the deer population explodes. And so the deer population explodes, and there's too many deer everywhere, and they eat everything, and a bunch of deer are like dying of diseases and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, the distemper wave is over. The raccoon and deer population rises again. The deer then get just eviscerated by a whole bunch of packs of coyotes. The coyotes are fat and happy, and there's a whole bunch of them, and now the population explodes. And then, you know, now there's too many coyotes and not enough deer, and they all starve to death. And you get this sinusoidal wave of population growth based upon these natural checks on the populations. These short hedge fund guys, there's too many of them, and they're now annihilating each other's positions because there's too many of them. They're like, oh, you don't short this. And then you have 150 other hedge funds all saying the exact same thing at the same time, and they all short it way too much. And now they just decimated the deer population, and now they're going to starve to death. So that's kind of like what I think is happening with all these short stocks. There's too many hedge funds. There's too many of them. There's too many family funds, and they're all doing the same plays because none of them are creative, and they all do the same thing over and over again. And so what we're seeing is like a natural selection process happening, as this goes. So yeah, the deer, all the coyotes are gonna starve to death. The deer population is gonna explode again, and we're just gonna go along. Okay. Gfont YYC, check your Twitter. I sent you the link. Ken Griffin might be caught in a prostitution scandal as per the DOJ. Oh, really? A rich, powerful man paying pretty ladies for sex? Dearie me. Who would ever thought that somebody who hangs out with Robert Kraft would do that? Okay. Excellent. Good to know. Good to know. I will check that link out. Maybe I'll search for it right now. Oh, goodness. There's a lot of messages you guys have sent me that I need to... All right. Where are you? Where are you? Oh. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I don't see it on there. So I'm going to do a search here. Ken Griffin prostitution. 5 hours ago, DOJ accident releases names involved in sex trafficking. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. So this is on Reddit. It's coming from Zero Henge, so I'll take that with a grain of salt. Zero Henge is Russian propaganda. So we're gonna take that. If I can find another source, I will look at that. Let me find another one, see if there's one that's not on Reddit. News. Anything in news popping up? Nothing Ken Griffin. So just that Zero Henge article so far. Okay, if you guys find something from something other than Zero Henge, I would be very interested in seeing it. So, yeah. I don't quite trust Zero Henge. They are definitely paid for by the Kremlin. But if you have something else from a different one, I'll gladly look at that. They can confirm what Zero Henge is saying, because sometimes Zero Henge releases something that's totally normal because it fits the narrative that they want to do. But other times they are totally bogus. Okay. We're at 5:03. Got about half an hour left. All right. Oh, you big dork. Yeah. Come. Remember. Oh, don't put your head on the keyboard. Don't put it on the keyboard. Dads and birthdays. My mom and dad have been divorced for 34 years now, so if he forgets a birthday, totally understandable. He just knows it's this month, I think. My family is a very weird blended family where all the ex-wives are friends with each other, with the current wife. Her wife has been married to for 30 plus years. Everyone gets along. They're all friends. They just know that, like, yeah, we shouldn't have been married. But I think it's rare, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things that I've experienced in my life is knowing that, like, hey, some relationships don't work out, but we can still be friends, and it's not just for the sake of the kids, because we generally are friends. The only time I ever really saw that in pop culture, you guys remember the TV show Nash Bridges? It's like my favorite action show ever. I love Don Johnson. There's John Donson who keeps popping up here. But in that show, the Nash Bridges character is like still friends with his ex-wives and his kid's wife, and the ex-wives like go have dinner with each other and they know each other, and it's, I don't know, it's like the greatest reflection of what I experienced in my life actually seen in pop culture. And it was I was impressed just by that, you know, all subtext of the storyline. And I wish more people had that kind of example in their life, that just because, you know, the marriage didn't work out doesn't mean you have to hate each other or whatever. That you can, you know, there's a reason why you got married. It's because you liked each other. Maybe it just didn't work out. I don't know. I'd like to see that more in life than bitter divorces and kids torn between their parents and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's kind of beautiful. Subhass the boss. What is the address to send a self-addressed stamped envelope? Click on the description of the show, and it's in there. It's P.O. Box 4645, Rollingbay, Washington, something. There's a tiny little post office that has its own P.O. box in the middle of the island I live on that has another zip code, and I can never remember what it is. Okay, I got people from the Philippines in here. I got people from Germany. All right. Okay. BBR Germany says Waterworld on Super Nintendo was great. I didn't know there was a game on Super Nintendo for that. I'll have to look for it. I've got my Super Nintendo set up downstairs. Oh, other water movies. The Abyss. Oh, I forgot about The Abyss. Yeah, The Abyss. Das Boot. U571. What other good water movies are there? There's White Squall, Master and Commander. Captain Ron. Captain Ron is an amazing movie. Everyone should watch Captain Ron. That movie is just absolute perfect. A perfect film. Okay. Matt Wasmer, have you ever seen the show Black Sails? Highly underrated series about pirates on Hulu. Is a must watch. I never even heard of it there, Matt. So Black Sails. I'll check that out. But Donkey Kong. That's a good name. He says the geeky guy who hopes to save the world in one of those massive asteroids heading towards Earth movies. I think I'm more like the scientist at the beginning of the movie who's like, this horrible thing's going to happen. And everyone's like, nah, and the horrible thing happens. And I go, I told you. Much more Don't Look Up style, I think. The Making of the Abyss was nutty. I've never seen The Making of the Abyss. But man, The Abyss was a good movie, though. That was a very good movie. Brandy Vales, I thought JP Morgan was bailing out Evergrande. I think they're bailing out the nickel guy. The Hong Kong nickel king. I think that's the one that's... Oh, shut up, everybody. Hush. Hush. They live here. Leave them alone. Big dog's got the monkey dog barking all of a sudden. Monkey, you're not a barker, so stop learning bad behavior. People talking about Big Bang theories. GME still riding high. Raider Bo, how much money has AMC insiders profited off retail investors? 80 million plus? I mean, I think it's 31 million shares were sold by insiders in 2021. So at $20 a share, looking at $1 billion. Not 600 million. 600 million bucks. That's no small feat right there. That's a lot of money. I mean, who can say no to $600 million, right? Yeah. Leela Moore, what the heck, Houston? I see a problem. There is a stock for crack. Okay. Blue Legumes. Yeah, so if you are an insider and you get paid stock options, depending on where you are, sometimes you have to pay the tax up front before you're allowed to exercise those options. So let's say you have, I don't know, 100,000 shares at $1 a share is your option. So it's going to cost you $100,000. But the value of those shares is $2 million. You're going to have to put up the $100,000 for those shares plus the, I don't know, $700,000 in taxes you're going to have to pay on it first. You have to put up $800,000 or so dollars before you're allowed to execute those shares and get the 2 million shares. Sometimes you can go to a bank and you can say, hey, bank, I've got these stock options. I need a short-term loan of $800,000 and I can pay you back out of this. And you'll walk with, $1 million and change at the end. So it can be hard for some people to exercise those options. Like I have friends that work at places like Amazon, and they get so many stock options each quarter. Oftentimes, what happens for them is that Amazon just sells the stock for them and gives it to them cash because they don't actually have the money to pay the taxes on it. So there's things that can be set up that way if you're a big enough company. But you are going to have to pay taxes almost immediately on those options before you're even allowed to execute. So that can be hard for some folks that are insiders, but they don't have the cash available to do that stuff. If you are with a company, the stock is really volatile, a bank may not even lend you the money to execute those options. So you might be kind of screwed as you sit around trying to execute everything. Well, Cat Strike, give me a chat marker. There we go. 4:46 p.m. So I'm 30 minutes behind. That's not too bad because I accidentally skipped over a bunch of stuff when the chat reset. Boop, boop. Brandon M. Houston, what's the best way to memorize math equations and learn? Oh, dude. I have to write it down. That's one of the few things, like, I really didn't take notes in many classes, but math classes I had to take notes. If you know your order of operations and you know your rules for different symbols and what you're doing, then you should be able to work your way along. Otherwise, I have to look it up. Applied math was not my strongest suit. Like I have some skill to be able to take a situation and attach numbers to it and make an equation for it. Do I have? Where is my? So a friend of mine, Garth Sundum, wrote this hilarious book. What did I do with it? Hopefully I didn't lose it when I left college. Okay. It's going to be somewhere near... okay, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Comes with a calculator. It's going to be in one of these. I hope. Hope I didn't lose it. What did I do with you? I used to use it for my life math class. And shit. I may have... I brought my other textbooks back. When did I have that? Where are you? It's a hilarious book for it's like an 8-ball for life using math and punching in variables. So Garth was, when I was in elementary school, Garth was one of my camp counselors. And he was like in my sister's class in high school. And he became a math professor, and he wrote this hilarious book. He's written several books, actually. Lives in Colorado now, does lots of rock climbing. Where is your math book? Implementing effective. Does lots of books on how... Geek Logic, that's it. Here we go. So Geek Logic. So it's short little books, got a little calculator with it, and is algebraic equations. So, should you ask her out? Should I get a tattoo? Can I still wear tight jeans? So you plug in all these variables, and then it tells you if you get a value more than 1, then yeah, you can still wear tight jeans. If your variable is below 1, you should not wear tight jeans ever again. How many beers should I have at the company picnic? Stuff like that. It's hilarious, and I highly recommend it. It's funny. It's a funny book. And where is it? Where's my freaking copy? It might be in the other room. Shit. Oh well. But it's funny. I recommend it. He's written a lot of other math-related books. You can see that he's contributed to a lot of textbooks. I haven't read Beyond IQ yet. I should look at that one. Came out in 2014. Garth, why don't you tell me that? I should look at that one. But he's written lots of math-related textbooks and educational books and things like that. So it's a good dude. He's a very good dude. Great rock climber. He's good buddies with Garrett Madison, who's also a world-renowned mountain climber from here. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. People are now talking about various gamblings. Baccarat is 50-50 odds. That's pretty good. I talk about crack rocks. Okay. Mount St. Funks, Elon said in a podcast the other day that he only owns Tesla, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Doge, and SpaceX. Interesting. So he's got nothing in PayPal, nothing in eBay. What are the other things that he was involved in? Interesting. If I were Elon, I'd diversify more for sure. All right. BBR says we got a quadruple witching day. Friday is also T+2. So FOMO tomorrow. There might be some FOMO tomorrow. I wouldn't doubt, especially with the way it's been running after hours, that we may get some. Let's see here. Open this back up. See where we are. Go there. All right, we plateaued. 143, 144 seems to be where we're leaving off. How's the volume doing right now? Yeah, volume's pretty small. There was one tiny little jump at 7 p.m. East Coast, and it was only 18,000 shares. Everything else has been 1 to 5,000. So I think the volume's tapered off for the evening. It's 8 o'clock on the East Coast. I think that's it. We'll see what pre-market will look like. And tomorrow, oh boy, I hope tomorrow screams. That would be fantastic. I'll take it. I'll take it, monkey. I will take that scream. Right? Right? Are you happy about that? Are you stoked? Are you a stoked, happy dog? Yeah? Do you know what going green means? Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea how many walks I can take you on with that kind of money? All sorts of walks, just all day long. So let's go for walks. All right. Now people make fun of my students scamming me, which they did. They really scammed my Kickstarter funders. Okay. Chris P says max is 47% Ortex as well. All right. So the borrow fee jumping in that range tells me that scary stuff is going to happen tomorrow. Well, scary stuff not for me. Happy stuff is going to happen for us. Scary stuff for a bunch of guys that do a bunch of cocaine and drink martinis every afternoon. No Vegas trip after MOAS. Why not? Why not? Exactly. Go if you're going to gamble, do the pocket method. Come with a shirt with two pockets. Money can only go into this pocket and money can only come out of this pocket. And once the money's out of this pocket, you're done. That's it. That's all you can do. Once it's all gone, that's your day. So you win, you put money in this pocket, and you just spend, and then you know you can be okay. Because you will usually win big at least once along your day. Then people get excited and they take all that winnings and they put it back down and then they don't have anything anymore. Be stronger than your lizard brain. That is our mantra. Be stronger than your lizard brain. Your lizard brain goes, "Oh, we'll keep winning forever," and then you lose. Okay. All right, we're to the best cams section. That's where we made it to. All right, there's the best cams section. Got timed out. Awesome. Exclusive 605, given that 40% of the market is foreign money, what do you think the equities world would look like post-MOAS if the rest of the world finally realizes how corrupt the markets and regulators are? I think we would see a lot smaller growth for sure. And there would be a giant drop-off. Because if you are selling out 40% of the market because you're like, screw this, I'm going to stick with Frankfurt or London or something, then it will collapse the markets. I mean, the Dow would be down to 12,000 if that were the case. That would be such a giant sell-off. Hey, big dog. Welcome back. Were you being a jerk to the other roommate? Yeah? Was that what you're doing? Well, just get your head pat. Be a good dog. And be a good dog. Okay. John, pop by your mama, share of GME to AMC and tell her she won. Okay. All right, we're 5:20. We got 10 more minutes, so I've got to go buy my mom a lotto ticket and get her some groceries. What we got? Chris P, the infighting seems to be intensifying between funds. Very possible. Like, I think a lot of them were in the same boat and started colluding with each other, and now that they're all under investigation, it's every man for himself. Dude, if you herk all over the keyboard, I'm going to be so upset. That's just a burp. Okay, just a burp. Not going to be shooting some, like, chewed up grass on my keyboard. But yeah, I think it's every man for himself at this point, and you know, like, what kind of loyalties do you have to the other guy as your competition? They all shorted everyone way too much because they all have the same idea, and now they're all in the same boat and they're all screwed, and they're all under investigation for RICO and collusion and manipulation and everything else. So it's got to be very tense days at these hedge funds. You'd have to pay me a fortune in cash to even want to work at one of these places just because of the liability I may be facing. I don't want to be the fall guy for one of these things. That would suck, right? No, Revolution 105, Chelsea owners don't like him. Maybe, I'm wondering, because we know Abramovich has a bunch of money dumped through that law firm in New York that then goes out to hedge funds all over the country. And if you are Citadel, you are probably have a piece of that ill-gotten Russian money. So if you're going to buy Chelsea from Abramovich, is that because you're doing him a favor? You're basically giving him his money back, right? What? Do you want me to keep petting you because you were just a greedy little dog? So there's got to be something squirrely going on with that. We know that he's done lots of flights to Eastern Europe. We know that Russians have all sorts of laundered money that's been filtered through big law firms and offshore accounts and go to end up in hedge funds here to be managed. We know that they're buying tons of property because you want real estate in hard currency markets because it holds its value much better than elsewhere. So he's got to be dirty with that stuff. There's no way a guy like Ken Griffin, who almost got obliterated out of existence in 2008, would not take easy Russian money if it was presented to him. There's no way. Ken, if you're watching, how much Russian money do you manage? Be honest. Let us know. And maybe they'll make the little prostitution ring problem go away. Okay. Anna Rulnick, do your mom or dad listen to your shows? Have you ever said anything on your show that you would be embarrassed for them to hear? I don't know. I'm pretty unfiltered with everybody. My mom listens to my show every once in a while. She gets a little notification on her phone, and sometimes she'll click and listen. So she hasn't said anything like, I can't believe we said that today. Maybe she's just watching a commercial so I get a 1 penny of revenue. I don't know. But I know my mom subscribes. I got her a YouTube account, so I know she subscribes to the show. I doubt my dad. My dad does not have the constitution to sit through 2 hours of me babbling. He'd much rather sit in the couch and read a book than listen to me ever. So, all right. Michael Harrow, it's in the Daily Mail as well. Ken Griffin was not named. It's Sarah Lawrence sex cult scandal. Okay. All right. I'm going to look at that. Daily Mail. Zero Hedge. Oh, did I say Zero Hedge, not Hedge? Zero Hedge. Sorry. I will mispronounce things. it happens. Zero hedge. Yes. Sean Gardner, just because it isn't ultra-left-leaning doesn't mean it's Russian propaganda. It's Russian propaganda because it's actually tied to the Kremlin and funding. Zero hedge is a Russian propaganda arm of the Kremlin. Without a doubt. 100% it is Russian propaganda. They work for the Kremlin. They are based out of Romania. They are tied to FSB. They are tied to GRU. They are tied to RIS. Zero Hedge is definitely a propaganda arm of the Kremlin. Not going to doubt that in the least. That's their job. That's what they do. Sometimes they present stuff that's factual, and if it ties into their the propaganda efforts of the Kremlin, they will let that thing run. But they will never post anything that hurts the Kremlin at all, ever. They won't do that. They won't talk about it. They won't mention it. They won't criticize Putin. That's the biggest thing. If you find someone who will not, under any circumstance, criticize Putin, then you have yourself a propagandist for the Kremlin. Get It Got says, other names include hedge fund manager who has donated millions to charity and has his name on a museum building in New York. All right, I'm about to read this thing. I have to check this out and see what's in there. Washington, D.C. lobbyist has worked on foreign resistance movement, international diamond dealer. Oh, okay. It looks like we have a who's who of assholes. This is the Daily Mail one. Protege Sun posted in there. Oh shit, where'd you go? Copy that. Throw that in there. Okay. So, what's the dirt we got here? We got to go there. To the Daily Mail, exclusive New York City's elite are in a tizzy after Justice Department inadvertently publishes a list of 121 clients, including lawyers, businessmen, socialites, who solicited Sarah Lawrence, sex cult victim who was forced into prostitution. Ooh, though it is a trafficking involved one. That's no bueno for everybody. Daily Mail acquired a copy of the list, which was taken down nearly as fast as it went up. The list was entered in evidence in the trial under seal, include lawyers, businessmen, socialites, tri-state area, Metropolitan Transit Authority executive, county executive at Amazon, former New York State Supreme Court judge. Well, Supreme Court in New York is different than elsewhere. It's actually, Supreme Court's just a district court judge on the county level. Alleged victim, Cloud Drury, took the stand Friday. Raised charge of sex trafficking, extortion, money laundering, violent crime. Ex-convict is accused of running sex cult out of his daughter Talia's dorm room, Sarah Lawrence College. What? This stuff is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay. Where's the name? Show us the list there, Daily Mail. I want to see the list. I want to see the name. Give us the names. Give us the names. A lot of money is changing hands. Dang. $300. Goodness gracious. Okay. Give me names, give me names, give me names, give me names. Give me names. Alright. I might have to look and see if I can find the list elsewhere. If you guys see the list, let me know. I'd love to see what's in that thing. Why do people keep messaging me today? Why am I popular? Oh, it's just my dad saying thanks. Okay. All right. Well, I know people giving more pirate movies and water movies. Deep Blue Sea, Hunt for October, Jaws, Crimson Tide, Sphere. I didn't enjoy Sphere that much. I enjoyed the book more than the movie for sure. Finding Nemo. Life Aquatic was a brilliant one. Castaway. Black Sails is based on Treasure Island. Okay, I'll check that out. Little Mermaid. The Beach. Moana. Everton, Houston. I have a Canadian TD account It does not show options for buying covered call. If I do not have a call and I sell open covered one, it's the same as a put. I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to ask there, so I don't think I can answer that one. I like to avoid covered calls. Covered calls are there was someone in the community who got absolutely hosed on covered calls back in November when we ran to like 250 and change. And I think they're meant to do actual calls, but they did cover calls and they lost their entire position, which is okay because they were able to buy back in at a discount later. But yeah, you don't want to lose your position by accidentally doing covered calls instead of just regular calls. But I don't know if I can answer your question all the way. That might be a gherkin question. Okay. All right, big dog. All right. Oh, it's 5:30. I gotta get going here. I'll do maybe one more question. I can fit one more question in here. We got okay. Daphne, do you think these option plays will prevent MOAS if they can keep pushing it down after making money with calls? I think they're definitely pumping it to try and do exactly that. If you know that you're hosed because your positions are way over leveraged, you're going to do what you can to generate as much cash as you can to keep that margin afloat. So I think that's probably the tactic that they've discovered, is that they can pump this stuff up and down. They can play with the call, especially if you're doing swings, huge swings. Like, not many stocks for the cheap price, if you want to buy options on Tesla or Amazon, right? Like, one call is going to cost you a boatload because the price in that stock is so high. But if you are a stock like GME, where you can move 200% in a matter of days, you've done it 3 times in the last year, 4 times in the last 15 months, you can make a fortune off of those calls and puts. So you can just play that sucker back and forth and just generate tons of cash while never closing out your position. So until there's a liquidity crunch, that may be what they're doing. It's yeah. And I'd kind of, why not? If you were in their position, you would do it, right? So yeah. Okay. That's gonna be it for me today. Monkey butt, come on. We got the big dog. We got the monkey butt. Oh, it's very slowly going up. Come here, come on, monkey, come here, come on. You can do it. Oh, I know. There we go. Everybody's here. We're gonna shovel off. We'll be doing a show, probably a daytime show on Friday. And then, regular show Monday, charity show Tuesday, raising money for World Kitchen, Jose Andres charity, so they can feed a bunch of Ukrainian refugees. And there you go. That's it for us today. Goodbye from the big dog, from the medium-sized dog, and from the old dog here. Click that, and we say toodaloo. Toodaloo!